Worship night is a great way to build champions within your church. These are people who are energized. They love the church. They love being a part of it. They want to invite other people. They lead at a high level. They contribute. They volunteer. They donate. Those type of things. We want to create champions. In our process, when we coach people through our branding process, there's these 5 steps that go all the way from a stranger, somebody knowing nothing about our church, and then transforming them step by step all the way to becoming what we call champions. And again, the worship night experience is a way for us to create champions, people who love being a part of our church. And that's a wonderful thing to have, because then you can create some momentum, and there's a good culture that happens. And a worship night is a great way to cultivate that culture within the church. We recommend doing worship nights before big growth seasons within the church, like before Easter, before Christmas, maybe before like September's a growth season for most churches. So a worship night is a good way to pull everybody together to create unity within the church, to of course worship God. These videos are not technically like spiritual videos. We're just talking about marketing tactics for the church. But of course, there's a big spiritual component to this. We are seeking God and looking for His wisdom and all those good things before that next big thing that's coming up. So as a church leader, you want to use that worship night to really energize the church towards that growth season, and maybe give a inspirational idea or two that just leading up into something like Easter, so that people know and understand what the reason is. Like, we don't want to take it for granted that people understand that there's a harvest season coming up, and that they should participate. They should invite that neighbor, that coworker, that family member to come and be a part of that, because the gospel has been so good to them. They should share that. So we don't want to miss that opportunity. We don't want to take for granted that people understand it. So having some sort of a worship night is a good way to do that. Churches that do worship night, they might do it on a Sunday night or a Thursday night. Typically, doing it outside the Sunday experience, a normal Sunday experience, is a good idea. Typically, doing it like on a Thursday night is a good idea. It just gives a little bit of space between the Sunday coming to church experience, and then puts it out a little ways. It could be a Wednesday night as well, midweek Wednesday night. That's also a good time. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. But having a separate event, and again, at this, you're just going to worship for the most part. Lots of music. You're doing prayers. Maybe there's certain prayers. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of figure out your worship night experience itself. I didn't want to get too much into that, but the big idea is to energize people, to point them towards the season moving forward as part of that experience, and then help them understand that there's people that need what they have, and leading them towards inviting people to come to church. So when we promote worship night, we want to make sure we announce it in service. We want to have a screen. We want to have social media posts that announce it and kind of gives people notification of when it is, where it is, the time, the date, all those good things. We want to have a look and a feel that matches kind of the season that you're in. So we have 3 different design. One is hands lifted up, and it's got this really nice, elegant font, and it just talks or speaks towards this kind of worship experience with hands lifted up, very vibrant worship experience. Another one, this one is more color focused. It's more graphical, so it's bright and energetic, and it's got this kind of elegant feel to it. So that's just a different look to it. And then there's a third design here. This one is more elegant, a little bit more traditional. Has kind of this spiritual feel to it. And there's, so again, 3 different looks based on what you feel like you want to communicate for the worship night experience that you have coming up. So again, all these are done in Canva. They're all editable. Canva is a great way to edit and make changes. So we like to provide our clients with graphics that are done in Canva, so that changes can be made very easily. There's a layers thing. I don't know if you know about this or not, but if you move layers around, you can get to different things that are maybe hard or difficult to edit. So, like for example, this layer was down below here, and I couldn't get to the edit. I couldn't click on it to edit it, but if I move it up, I can then make edits to it. So this dove is kind of sandwiched between two layers. So if I were to move it up, it would cover up the words, but if I move it down, then this layer here just has an outline, and it's sitting on top of the dove, whereas the filled in worship night is below the dove. So this N is done as a separate layer, a separate text block to give that nice cursive look. And then we have a bit of a drop shadow behind it using the effects to create a little bit of separation behind it. So very simple graphics, but they look very elegant. And again, you can throw in your information, make edits to it so that you can communicate your date and times in these graphics. So again, I'm just going to move things around so that we can make edits to the text. Whoops. See, so right now I can't get to this text, so I'm just going to elevate it. That way I can make edits to it. So as simple as that, you can change if you're doing it at 5:30, you're able to make changes to any of these graphics very simply and easily. You can put your logo in there if you need to, or your messaging in there. Everything's editable within Canva using Canva Pro, which is free for churches because you are a non-profit. You just have to apply through Canva, and you'll get that Pro account for free. So again, use worship night leading up, create unity, build momentum, set the vision for that next season coming up at the worship night, and you'll see growth taking place as people take action and really step into the next growth season at your church.